And then.
Oh, I think I inadvertently just clapped.
No, you're okay. And then. I just like.
Or you look like you're.
her.
Hey, you're going to school. You're in here. You're in here taking classes.
I am.
She's
like,
doing
is this gonna be
online
okay?
classes.
Okay.
Today, everybody, I am serving you that Steve Jobs, Dwayne the Rock Johnson realness, hunty.
You're right.
Yeah.
And you got a haircut.
I did. I got a haircut.
looks good.
Thank you very much.
Do you like
Fruits in Wedgwood, Houston, which is actually Haley Williams' salon, by the way, like the one that she
owns a salon?
Apparently now she owns a salon.
Is she a hairstylist? Does she do it?
I don't know. Maybe I think she just likes hairs, kind of.
She just hairs, plural.
She just likes hairs.
She likes hairs.
She just likes them hairs. I had to open a store about it.
If I liked hairs like that, I would too.
Hey, that's what I've been saying. I want to talk above all else about last night for you. However, I wanted to, because you've been working all day, I wanted to get you in the mood.
Yeah.
Get you in the mood by telling you about what's going on Twitter. Do you know about this?
I literally have not been on the internet the past 3 days.
Fair enough. Fair
Something's
enough.
happened in the last 3 days.
So on October 28th, I believe is the date, Elon Musk bought Twitter, finally.
I'd heard about that.
Yes, and he said for years, not even years, maybe it's months, I don't know, that he was going to do it, and then he was like, I'm not going to do it, and then he's like, I'm going to do it, and then he did it. I think the number was like 44 billion, like it's an insane number, what Twitter is worth.
Okay.
So long story short, he is known for whenever he acquires a company, he goes in, he does like sweeping changes, like really fast and like really in a way that the employees are always like, this is the worst thing ever.
Complaining, yeah.
The reality is though that when someone comes in to a company, and I'm not like supporting him or endorsing him at all.
No, but I think that you can logistically
look
at a situation without, you know.
I'm super not pro Elon. Like I don't care about him. I think he does probably more bad than good, and I think he wants to be a reality star. However, it is what it is. It's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you might as well not, lose your mind about it. Anyway.
I read somewhere that, so out of all of the social media platforms, Twitter is the only platform that does not have a constant stream of incoming money. So if you think about it, like Instagram has ads, YouTube has ads, TikTok has ads.
Right.
And Twitter, you'll see ads for sure, but like there's not half as much money influxing through. If you think about it, how many Instagram ads do you click and like they like steal your brain for a hot second?
Yep.
How many more Instagram ads do you click than Twitter ads? Like, I don't know how to exactly. Yeah. I'm like, I've never seen, if anything, the Twitter ads are like ratchet and they're just like inappropriate. Like
Twitter ads can be insane. I love Twitter ads.
They just like are trying to sell me like sex things, and I'm like,
right,
and it's usually someone that's like sold out because it's usually someone that ended up selling out because they had a viral tweet, and while the tweet is going viral, it's literally just someone who DM'd them and was like, hey, I'll pay you $30 to put this under your tweet. Other than that, like I really don't see. I barely, when I'm scrolling on Twitter, I swipe so quick beyond the ads.
Same.
But so with that being said, I think that Twitter had I'm not saying that they didn't have anything, but I think that they had I think what I read was that they'd had the least amount of incoming money, so that they were genuinely, in order to like obviously run everything, they just like were basically either, I don't know if they were breaking even, but they were just not doing as hot as everybody else was.
Completely true.
And so,
and that makes a lot of sense with the article I read. It makes
sense why, first of all, they would even sell it. Right. Like if you got a good thing, why let it go? Right. This is another thing too. I don't know Elon's story or his his rags to riches, or even if he was ever in rags, I have no clue.
Same. I don't know either.
I don't know his upbringing 411, like how he got from start to finish, or middle where he's at right now. I don't know any of that, but I do know that Tesla's his thing. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't like not agree that like that he has a brain. He's also like, sometimes super smart people are not social people. And that's just it.
You're like verbatim spewing a lot of what this ad or this article that I read earlier was about. Yeah. So here's what's actually going on, right? So he bought.
Yeah. Hold on. Sorry. You go ahead.
Oh no, you're good.
I'm gonna hold my thought.
He bought Twitter. Yes. Immediately overhauled it. His very first company-wide email was being like, "Hey everyone, sorry, but we're going to fire half of you." Like he doesn't care about like people. He knows how to make a company.
Yeah,
I guess better in his standard.
Yeah,
and maybe in the long term. I don't know. I can't bring myself to care enough about billionaires at all to like actually wonder what's going on. But I do think that clearly he has a knack for this. So the point that I'm making is that, long story short, he made it so that you can buy a check mark, a verified check mark. I'd
heard that because Drew has told me about that.
Everyone started buying them and pretending to be brands.
Wait, that is actually, you can actually like. Just pretend to be whoever you want on there?
Technically, yeah. And the thing is, he immediately ripped it off Twitter because he was like, this is going bad. Because people were pretending to be Slim Jim and talking about like giving someone like, it was bad. They were like...
That's what when I'd heard that they were you could pay for a verification check mark, I was like, how are they going to know that people are who they are?
Exactly. And that was the whole point that Twitter previously... They
did that on purpose for
you got verified through an extensive process. Not saying that the original way was the right way or that this new way is the wrong way. But with that being said, it's like so funny how normally when you implement something like blue check mark can now be purchased. It takes months to roll that out, and Elon is very of the mindset that's like,
let's do it now.
Put it out right now, and if it goes bad, we rip it. And so he ripped it, and he pulled it off. But
so you don't have to pay for it anymore?
Not in time. Well, you can't.
You can't pay.
It's back to the original OG procedure. Okay. Yeah.
I think it would have been smart to like keep the procedure, but anyone who holds a check mark, because at that point, like, if you've gone through and asked for a check mark because you're so big that you want people to know that you are who you are, you probably have the $8 a month. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
But also,
certainly you have the $8 a month. Yeah.
If you're running a falling down business and you need something to like get income from, and you know that this is something that people actively apply for, it's kind of smart to have it be like, you know what, if you want to keep it, sure, you can do that. It's definitely a way to... For an already like lower than typical business, it's like, okay, what's the first way that we could potentially, with what we already have, the systems we already have, start to make some more money before we start, going through the ad way.
Totally. And that's what he said.
It makes sense. And, and he, as a business owner, like sometimes when, even it's the same with like when new management comes into anything, they literally like chop off the loose ends. You know what I'm saying?
It's an acquisition. And it's not going to be pretty ever.
If he's the kind of person who doesn't hold much like empathy for just like the worker when it comes to, I've worked here for so and so years and you're throwing away my job. At least he gave them notice.
I don't know if
he did,
what I'm saying? But fair enough.
I heard someone say that they got an email saying like, "Hey, we're probably gonna get rid of you guys, so look around elsewhere." I
don't know if you get to that level of success. I think it's more of the mindset of like, okay, how do I make this entity successful rather than so. And notice would be nice. If you're already
successful though, you had to get there some type of way.
True.
And in order to like, honestly, because America is the country that you can literally like bleed your way to the top or make others, elbowing people down to get to where you want to do. If you want to do that way, I mean, it's probably one of the most effective ways. It's like you're not gonna be liked by everybody.
You're not gonna be liked by most people, I think, but it's certainly a way to get up there. Yeah.
It's like I'm not here to make your feelings feel better. I'm here to make money.
That's exactly what he's there to do.
Saying?
Yeah. And I also, he told everyone, he's like, just a warning. I think he tweeted this. He was like, just warning everyone, Twitter's gonna do some funny stuff for a couple months.
Right.
We're going to keep
just
what
trying
works,
stuff out.
and we're going to not keep what doesn't. And that was the first thing I heard from him that I was like, that's logical.
Yeah.
That's fair. You know what I mean?
He died.
He needs to, he realizes that he's on such a massive platform, but I think he doesn't really care. I think he's kind of whatever.
Yeah.
I don't feel either type of way, good or bad, about that. I just think I really am going to miss, and it was only like a 12-hour period that we had it, but I'm just going to miss Slim Jim tweeting about legalizing nuclear bombs.
But also,
and people pretending to be like Ron DeSantis and being like, and like responding to like Obama being like, "You're so sexy."
Oh wait, that's
so funny.
That's so funny.
Oh god, and I understand why it's a bad thing, but
right.
I'm like,
it was like a comical period of time of people doing it.
And it's
But you know what I mean?
so at everyone's expense.
If you had like literally all the money in the world, like if you were one of the ones that had literally just endless funds.
Yeah, imagine. God.
Would you care? First of all, also, we're talking about Twitter.
Right.
Like, not that like having a job at Twitter isn't like a real job, because it is a real job. Like they have to like run things, but also like, I don't know. I feel like, wait, what was I making the point? It wasn't about the job itself or the workers thing. It was more like, if you have all the money in the world, this is the point I'm making. You at that point, there's nothing you can do to really like lose that.
Agreed.
Like socially, like you could do something that is so horrible that like would get you quote unquote canceled. But guess what? You're still rich.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it does not matter. And also, there's so many documentaries out there that are so proving to the point that when you have money like that, you can get out of stuff easy. You can, there are lawyers specifically for people who have incredible amounts of money.
Oh yeah.
To literally flip the script and like find all these loopholes in order to get them out of things.
Yeah.
And and obviously like there are some that are more major like situations that have gotten out of stuff than others. I'm more talking about just like if someone wants to like sue you for hurting their feelings because you told them they're firing you. I mean, you're firing them. Like, they're like, do it.
Yeah.
Okay. Like,
it's stuff
I'll pay
like
you.
that.
Yeah, sure. I'll pay you money if you want. Here.
Totally. It's
Bye.
stuff like that. It's also though. It's
You know
like
what I mean?
it's stuff like hush money. It's corruption.
Right. That's
it
where
gets really bad.
That's where it does get really, really bad. But
I
don't know if there's anything. Well, actually, no, I don't know. But while we're on the topic of Elon Musk, I have no idea why. I have never really just like sat and thought about him, or like he's just not like a person that's like on my brain ever. Tell me why I have nightmares about him. I've had like multiple, and I'm like, what in the heck? What in the heck is going on?
I'm like praying that you're not like a prophet and you're not delivering a divine message to us.
I don't know what it was. I think what it was one time is that I did see an article about like one of his first wives and her like story about falling in love with him in college, and then they fell in love, and then they got married and started having kids. But he was so focused on his mission, he just literally at a certain point stopped caring about like family and was solely just like, no, this is what I have to do. And it ended up ruining his marriage. I could be wrong. Look it up yourself, please. Anyways, I had literally read through that article, and they were like old pictures of him when he was younger or whatever, laying on a couch with a book, and he's just like, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. But
I remember this.
that within the next week of that, also probably it was like, there's been a lot of discussion about him taking over Twitter for a long time. It's not like, well, he said he was going to, why didn't he do it? Like logistically, it takes a really long time to follow up and like follow through with all of that.
You're acquiring a whole company. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, my dream, I think it's because he's on a mission, I've read, to have so many kids. Do you know what I'm saying? He wants to like repopulate the earth. He's like one of those people.
Elon Musk?
Yeah, he has like 15 kids or something. Like
I
him
had
and
no
Nick Cannon
idea.
are on that same grind.
Oh my God, Nick Cannon scares me so much.
He was going to stop procreating unless he knew he could still be a good father to them. That was what he was said. Whatever. But my dream, I wanted to fill you in. Basically, I got, at this time, applying for a bunch of jobs. In my dream, I was applying for jobs. I applied for a job at Tesla.
Cool.
Because there was just one. Close. There's not. Makes sense. And I get a desk. It feels like The Office, but like super high ceilings. Okay. So super bland desk, but like Tesla building. You feel me?
Cool.
And so we're sitting, all of the workers are all here, and there's a lot of people that I don't know, some people that I do know, but it's like not weird that like my friends are working at Tesla too. He has this giant like glass desk over here, and he walks up to me, and I think, okay, we're just probably he's gonna like show me the like on my computer like what I've got to start doing, because I'm starting work now. And he was like, come over to my desk, and I was like, I'm good. Like I'll just keep. I don't know. I just got weird vibes he was giving me.
Oh, I'm scared.
It was like getting to the point where he was trying so hard to like pull a move on me in my dream. I've never met this man. He was trying to pull a move on me, and it made me so uncomfortable that I've quit right there. I'm done. I'm not doing this. And then that dream was over. I had another dream. Why? Why did this? I have no clue. Like, take my brain out of my head, please. I had a dream where I was getting this, like, I won this experience to, like, see the future of what Tesla was going to be. Dude, I don't know. I'm in there. It's a freaking sick ride. I wish I could have taken a picture for you guys in my head. If you've seen the TV show Upload, happy-go-lucky, like, futuristic show, but the cars, they drive themselves. But but there's no like steering wheel or anything. It's just like basically a bubble of like metal and glass. Cool. But this car, it had like a really interesting silhouette, but then everything was you just sit and you experience the ride basically. But there were all these like holograms and I'm like looking around. I'm like, oh my goodness, this is so cool. And then he locked the doors. And when I say
that's never what you want to happen.
I like literally broke out so fast. Y'all, I don't know. That's just weird though.
We should,
but sometimes you have nightmares that don't make sense. And so, LOL, I had nightmares about Elon Musk.
We're gonna fact check the thing about his kids because that would be really interesting if that was the case. I just saw
literally. I'm pretty sure it was just a tweet. So
and not to be gay, but when people like breed.
Yeah.
Ooh, I can't relate. Do you have, before we go on to the next thing I want to ask you about, do you have any shout outs of the week that you want to give?
Shout out of the week?
Like to anyone.
This week's been a really big blur. The most face consistent or even like top of mind person on my brain this week.
Drew.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I see him all the time though.
Fair enough.
So actually I probably should today. Today... I'll make two because this one I'm going to shout him out because today is our 3-year anniversary. So shout out Drew.
I love Drew.
I love you.
Drew's my
father. I mean, that goes without saying. Shout out to him. But then I think I'm going to shout out Tatum this week because we made a lot of plans and like they kept like falling through. So we just kept having to like talk on the phone a lot. Oh, also, well, whatever. I'm just shouting out a bunch of people. Shout out to Brienne, my new roommate, because she just moved in with her husband and they're staying with me.
Directly underneath us right now. Almost, yeah.
Well, we're above the garage right now, but they're a little bit left.
We're on top of you guys. I'm going to shout out Uncle Bob as always.
Yeah, shout out Uncle Bob.
I'm going to shout out on Thursday.
Why didn't you tell me I have eye boogers?
Oh, I didn't see you had eye boogers.
Please always look for that because I'm like always like
even now I can't.
I'm like disgusting. I had that in my eye the whole time.
On Thursday of last week, I was at Abby and Jacob's house. Shout out to Jacob Whitesides, who said he watched our podcast and has notes for me, and he hasn't texted them back to me yet.
Wait,
so
what episode though?
I don't know. He just said he watched the whole episode.
That's the rough thing because it's like I feel like we've evolved so much.
If you watched episode 1. Unfollow us because it's not good.
Move on. We're gonna secretly delete that when no one notices.
The last episode, probably the most recent one, was a really good one. Anyway,
yeah, I feel like every episode is so different too.
And they change so much.
And other than our lighting.
Is so different.
Yeah,
and I just caption each of them on YouTube, just like, well.
Here's my real shout out. Shout out to Morgan because this week. I have been slacking on my end of the bargain when it comes to obligations for the pod, and she has solely taken it upon herself to get it done. And I just really appreciate that because I was literally all over the place.
Listen, we all go through ebbs and flows.
Well, yeah, but it was really like, when I say all over the place, I mean like just physically like on the map. I was everywhere.
Yes,
and
you were.
When I say I just had zero like brain to sit and be like, wait, I need to post some promos. I need to do this and do that. And literally I would just get a notification and it would be like, Morgan, she did it. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
Hey, family.
And I'd text her like, I don't know how many times thanking her and telling her how sorry I was.
Yeah. And we're a team. Like it's a collect. I think everyone needs to be more collectivist and realize that like it happens. You know what I mean? And there's an ebb and flow to availability, to creativity, to everything. But, thank you. That was sweet.
Yeah.
I was at Jacob and Abby's house, and they have a roommate, Clinton. Yeah,
I know exactly who he is.
Yeah. I literally adore that man.
Okay.
And I got to see him again on Thursday of last week, and I was wearing a sweatshirt, like it was a crew neck navy sweatshirt that had it was Notre Dame, and I had thrifted it, and he's all
about fashion.
I want to put up a photo right now of what Clinton looks like because he's literally the coolest person on earth.
So sick.
And he turns to me and he was like, "That sweatshirt is
cold." And he
cold.
like makes stuff for himself too, like not just music, but
he complimented
his accessories and outfits.
He's just like,
my
sweatshirt, dude. I straight up told him, I was like, look in a mirror and think about how much that means to me that you complimented. He was wearing like platform shoes and like hat and things were dripping. Cool. He's so cool. Guys, here's the thing, guys. I'm looking out for y'all. I'm trying to get the tea on Abby. Abby's an actress. Abby has cool things that she's done. And I think it's fair and probably okay now for us to announce that you're in something coming up. And I'm going to defer to her for what she can say and what she can't say.
Yeah, and we can just like freely edit this as it happens so that it's not stressful.
Why don't you tell the people what you're in?
Okay, so
I'm so excited about this for her. I'm so excited.
I am in the upcoming Paramount Plus and Showtime limited series, George and Tammy. A little.
I'm gonna cut that. I'm easily gonna cut that. That was so stupid.
No, don't cut it. I liked that. And George and Tammy is the true love whirlwind life story of George Jones and Tammy Wynette, country music's king and queen for real.
So cool.
And Tammy Wynette is played by Jessica Chastain, and George Jones is played by Michael Shannon.
So cool.
And I had the honor. Oh God, it's so weird. I feel so. I don't know why. I just get like.
This isn't real press. We're sitting on.
No, I know. Yeah. I played Georgette Jones, their collective one and only daughter together.
She plays Jessica Chastain's daughter, bro. Are you joking? Yeah. She called Jessica Chastain mommy, like we all want to. Yeah, she did that. Good for her.
I'm so excited, but I'm also so cool. Incredibly nervous. And that's what's real, is that like my stomach is constantly in knots every time I read a new article about it, every time I like see something about it. And I think it's obviously the nerves of like knowing that I've done something that I put a lot of effort and like brain and heart power into, but also every time something's coming out for me, I always get like just overwhelming, like, oh golly, like I need to watch it real quick first before everybody else sees it. So I feel like I can decide whether I feel confident about it or not. And I think that's just like I think it's because, this is why I think that is. I think it's because for any artist, right? I think when you're working on something for so long, the reveal of it is really anxiety inducing. You know what I'm saying? So that makes sense. But also on top of that, if you were a mixed media artist where you're working with like tangible paints and things like that, you still get to stare at your work every day until you reveal it to everyone. So you at least can feel peace of mind of witnessing what they're already what everyone else is going to witness. Like you know what to anticipate. For me, in my industry, we shoot these things and we get the best take and we get the best angles and the best lighting, and it's like the perfect version of every scene compiled into the perfect scene to tell the best version, to tell the story in the best way, right? It takes a long time to put these things together. So it's been over a year since I shot this since I shot the limited series. And to be very real, I remember, but I don't. Like it's so fuzzy. It's so like, okay, I know that I tried my absolute best. Like I gave it everything that I had, but how that's going to turn out is I know just as much as you. You know what I'm saying? Like, So that's what I think is also the most nerve-wracking, because it's just like, it's coming.
So did you see it last night?
I did see it. I saw the first 2 episodes.
Cool. But not your parts.
But not my parts.
Gotcha. Normally we are filming a podcast.
I know, man. That's so disrespectful.
I know you're a dog, but don't you understand how we are talking into mics right now?
Yeah, just a little more self-awareness would be amazing.
Would be amazing from you. There
was a screening for George and Tammy, a private screening, and I got to watch the first 2 episodes. And I'm in there are 6 episodes. I'm in the very last episode. I'm so excited. You
got to see Miss Jessica.
You
got to see Mom.
I got to see everybody again. Yeah.
She got to see Michael Shannon, who she's on a first name basis with. She said, yes, I'm Mike.
No, okay, No,
that didn't happen. I made that up.
There's such a level of respect that I still hold with them that I like, God, I don't even know. I just get so flustered when I'm still with them. And these are like the only 2 people that I've ever gotten this way around. I've worked with a lot of really amazing people and really like well-known people. But I think that because Jessica she is literally just someone that I look up to so much, and her career comparatively to other actors in her like range of field, as in Grammy holder. She has the shortest length of time in the industry. She's only been in it for like 10 years, 11 years, I think.
She's exceptional.
She started late, but she has like just rocketed and like completely just also held her own and just kept true to herself. She is a redhead, obviously, and I'm a redhead. And when I was on set, I was able to express to her how much it meant to me that throughout her career, she didn't let anyone make her change that aspect about herself, and that she was able to like hold that, and she would just wear wigs. As a redhead in the industry, everyone in the industry is typecasted, and that's just like what has to happen in order for you to, you know, get put into a role that is going to tell a specific story. Like in storytelling, our characters are important. And if you are intimidating looking, or if you're like sweet looking, you're more than likely going to play the sweet looking person or the most intimidating looking person. You know what I'm saying? So
true.
With that being said, hair color apparently is really confusing to people. There have been projects that I have been approached for or have been in consideration for that they've not followed through with me because of my hair. And they're like,
weird.
well, we've already cast these 3 people and they're blonde and one of them's a brunette. So I don't know, like, or we have cast this other person and they're twin, but their twin is not a redhead. And I'm like, we got to go back to biology, because the Punnett square is not, that's not how it works. Or like if the parents have been cast, they're like, well, they're not redheads. It doesn't work like that. That's not how it works. Yeah. My parents are blonde. I'm the only redhead in my entire family because it's a recessive trait, fun fact.
It is.
And so it takes 2 carriers of the gene, and they don't have to be showing characters. You could have blonde hair or brown hair and hold the gene still for redheaded people, which doesn't just affect your hair. It also affects the melanin in your skin, and it affects your pain tolerance. It affects a lot of different things. Apparently,
I heard about someone with pain tolerance.
Yeah. So with that being said, I'm in a very niche group. Hey,
in what world? Why would you ever do that, Norma?
No,
it was nothing to
lay down.
Abby and I talked on Wednesday, which is when I found out that she was going to this screening, and I was like,
I don't know if we should disclose when the screening was, because I don't want people. Yeah.
Oh, that's exactly what I was about to do.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay, never mind.
Or where. I just want because I don't know how.
Certainly not where. But I just got to be on the inside, and I felt so cool because I'm in marketing, and I'm like a writer and in marketing, and so I'm just like, y'all.
Yeah.
I also just love Jessica Chastain.
Yeah, I do too.
What a time.
Yeah, I like blubber every time I'm around her, and it's so hard because I really, really try to like hold myself. Like I try to be so professional, but also myself. Like I want to be myself,
right? You want to be authentic,
but also I get so like my heart is beating so fast, and I have so much that I want to say that has just like built up over time. She's so nice, and every time I've done it, she's been so kind. But in my brain, I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "You're messing this up." Like,
I think that's extremely relatable.
I just get I love her, and I told her how much I loved her, and I was just like, "You are literally my like." Mood board.
Yeah.
Like you are you're who I want to align my future career alongside. Like I literally
wind blowing Norma's ear hair.
Just get a video of that.
It's literally
just for our perspective of what's going on right now.
No, we're literally going to easily show Norma.
Oh, hey Beyonce. Oh, I'm sorry. Is this your show? I think this is your show.
I don't even know how iconic it looks. Make sure you watch George and Tammy.
Yeah, watch George and Tammy.
Netflix.
On Showtime and Paramount Plus. December 4th is the official air date. So check it out. It's
on
coming.
Netflix.
Yeah, I got to watch it yesterday. And I got to see everybody, and it was really fun.
I wish you'd gotten to see your parts, though.
I know, but I got a lot of really nice feedback from people, and so that was nice.
Awesome.
Still nervous.
This is so cool. It's
still
so cool.
Nervous though.
It's gonna be great. You're gonna kill it. You
have
have some really interesting scenes from what you told me about.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for y'all to see this side of Abby.
It's the most screen time that I have ever had. So
we're excited. Everyone's support.
Yeah.
As if it's not already gonna get support because Jessica Chastain is in it.
Yeah. My mom, my mother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She followed us on Instagram today.
You're lying.
I'm pretty sure.
No, she did not.
Or someone did. What's your mom's name again?
Jennifer?
Yeah, Jennifer. Yeah.
Good grief. I thought you meant her. I thought you were continuing the topic of Jessica Chastain.
No. Jessica Chastain
I was like,
did
she did not follow us.
Can you imagine if Jessica Chastain followed us followed the All Right Cute podcast?
Yeah.
Which sounds really similar to alt-right, which I kind of like. I kind of think that's funny.
Well, but we've got the cute. So like alt-right.
Alt-right cute. Yeah, just the mere idea of people clicking onto our podcast thinking that it's alt-right and it's just us talking about Jessica Chastain.
Yeah.
Is so funny to me. Anyway,
I'm not even sure I know what alt-right means.
It's like the right being conservative.
Right.
Alt-right is alternative right. So like Nazis,
I don't even know what that means.
Like people who are into like super radical far right, like problematic.
Is there
right.
an alt left?
More or less, yeah. There's radicals on both sides. 100%,
Right. I just didn't know if that was like the casual term.
It's not called alt-left, I don't think. I think it's probably called a bunch of different things. Same with alt-right. It's called a bunch of different things. But it's just like the belief set that is like radical.
It's just like I just am like, the extremes on, there are extremes on either side, yeah, for sure.
100%
and I guess
there
it's
are.
just okay, cool.
Oh my God.
Didn't know what that meant. That's good to know.
Alt-right cute. Get it trending. Anyway, do you watch any stand-up comedy?
I sometimes will click on a what's it called?
Like a special?
Yeah. I'll sometimes click a special.
I want to know, like, I want to do like a poll for our audience because so I'm realizing lately, because I've made a lot of references to all 3 of the current John Mulaney specials that are out. And what I'm finding, because in my sphere, you know how you like have a sphere in your existence and then that's like what you think the whole world is. So in mine, I thought that literally everyone on planet Earth has seen every single one of John Mulaney's stand-up specials because, right? When I was in college, he had 2 of them out. The first one was New in Town. The second one was is the one about Bill Clinton and whatever. Okay. And then the newest one, the latest one is called Kid Gorgeous. It came out in 2019, I believe. That was my senior year of college, and I remember it was like the Super Bowl for white women. Like, I went to 4 watch parties. Can you show me a picture
of this guy? Because I think I know what he looks like, but in my brain, I could totally be wrong.
I sure can. Let's see. Jonathan Mulaney.
My problem that it is who I imagined it was. Okay.
I love that man. And I didn't realize that people hadn't seen his stuff. I was like, what?
Right. Well, it's not, okay, I need to revise that. My issue is that when I watch a comedy special, if I am not vibing with the first couple of jokes, I'll just stop watching.
That's fair.
I'm like, next.
I think a lot of people are like that.
I already got the vibe.
Well,
I don't know.
There's so much out there. Why would you waste time if you know you're not going to like it?
Yeah.
So
if it's not, if I'm like, I'll give you like a solid 10 minutes. And if I'm like, this is,
I think 10 minutes is a good amount of time to prove yourself. Yeah, I think that's valid. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, I didn't realize that people didn't know about that because I make all of it. He's got so many jokes that I think are so in the mainstream that people don't realize.
Right.
And so then I make them, and I like to make like the obscure ones to my roommates that involve like a lot of profanity. But then sometimes like more people than not lately have looked at me and been like, what are you talking about?
Right.
And I'm like, oh my God. Like what I'm realizing is that my worldview might have been small. And
well, if you think about it, everyone's is kind of, because worldview, that means like how big is your world and how much have you seen and how like there's so much that of the world that we still haven't seen. So technically your worldview is only as much as you've experienced and as much as you've like looked like observed. You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
You know, and you can, but I think people use term worldview in a lot of different ways too.
Yeah, I agree. And I it's funny that you say that because on like a personal note, I've been really looking into, so I'm writing a book. It probably won't come out for 10 years.
No, typical.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Typical. Is it an autobiography?
No,
what is it?
I'm really into, as y'all,
fiction?
As our audience. No. I mean, it's like investigative journalism, more or less.
So nonfiction. What's the
anything
genre?
Esoteric and metaphysical, right? So here's
define esoteric.
So the thing is, right? As y'all probably know, I'm really into, and it started because I got really into like aliens, Bigfoot, Mothman, ghosts.
Mothman? I've never heard of that. That's cute. No, but I like that it's like an
Stay
alliteration.
tuned next week because Abby will figure out what Mothman is.
Introducing Mothman.
And for my audience and for my gay members of my audience, you'll know that Mothman has like a very weirdly special place in our heart. I'll explain that for sure. But Mothman is gay. And there's no other way to explain that to you.
Is it because of Silence of the Lambs?
No. It started for me with like being into like Bigfoot, cryptids in general, right? Then I realized that cryptids and like UFO things are related, right? Then I realized that conspiracy theories and UFOs and cryptids, all of that is related in this sort of like esoteric other community of like people, like tinfoil hat people that you hear about, like woo people, right?
Right.
And I just find that really fascinating. I don't know what I believe. I don't particularly believe or don't believe anything. I just think that there's probably so much more to this reality than we understand. Mm-hmm. And so as I started researching that, I started getting into things like sacred geometry, like ancient history, ancient practices, etc.
I love Ancient Aliens on it. Okay, you know what's
Such
funny?
a fun show.
Is that Ancient Aliens is on the History Channel. Also, it's funny because you're talking about the people who are like into aliens and the woo people, the tinfoil on their heads people. But there are also alien people who are literally doctors and who get to go on the History Channel and talk about ancient aliens. You know what I'm saying?
You're absolutely right. Yeah.
So like, it can be a reputable occupation.
There's certainly researchers, and that, I mean, mine is
historians.
Mine is very hobby-esque,
right? No,
so
for sure.
I'm really I'm reading currently and watching all the lectures on the ancient secret of the flower of life by Drunvalo Melchizedek. I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. And she
memorized that one.
I love this guy's work. I'm a huge fan, and so I'm taking notes and kind of basically what I do is I read or I watch hours of lectures and then I take notes on them and then I put all my findings together. So I'm on this huge lead right now about how like meditation connects to everything. Really, really into meditation lately, metaphysics, plasma physics. I like the science combined with the ethereal.
Yep.
And I just for the way that I operate, I have to kind of see that basis of both.
Happen in both
so
ways,
when you kind of delve into this area, there's going to be a lot of stuff to cover. You kind of have to like pick a niche. I don't like to pick niches though. So I'm literally anything that anyone tells me to look up, I'm going to look it up and I'm going to put some time into it and I'm going to take notes on it because I love it. So chances are to any of our people that are in Nashville, if you see me at a Starbucks and I'm on my laptop,
don't talk to her.
I am looking up the most I'm looking at an FBI file of the finders. I'm like looking at the most messed up stuff you'll ever imagine. Cool. But I love it. I love doing that stuff. And so it's become like a nice little hobby. This has been a creative outlet for me. That's been the other one.
Yes.
And
that is so
I've already I started this like 3 weeks ago and I've already got like 42 pages in a Word document. So I'm like, eventually this has to be a book. Like this is going to be a book. So I think it's going to be like something like, and you know me, like everything has to be funny. So I kind of inject my humor into it. So it's probably going to be just like exploring existence from a Gen Z perspective.
You know
with
too,
like Vine Boom.
because we've had discussions about a lot of the ancient like celestial being experiences that people have had, and then not necessarily experiences, but more like the historical inscriptions on walls in ancient buildings or stuff like that. When it comes to the unseen world that's there, it's like there's every finding that you search, if it doesn't coincide with science, you can already deduce that it's not probable.
So far.
I like doing those kind of research outlets in the same way, but especially when it comes to the spiritual world. I think that a lot of the findings and a lot of the statements of what people have said they've had experience with aliens, like what else is an alien other than something that's not here?
Probably just some sort of interdimensional traveler.
Or something that is that is so outside of the bounds of our time, space, physics. Like they aren't bound by time. They aren't bound by the physical world. They aren't bound by all these things. There have been accounts of those beings for literally since the beginning of time.
Totally.
And I think that sometimes people view aliens in a specific way, and I think they view also angels in a specific way that is a little bit more like children's book. I think it would be interesting to draw comparisons between the two and see like it's just crazy. And also when it comes to meditation,
which is the secret to literally meditation and breathing is the secret to figuring all of this stuff out.
But and that's a practice that's even practiced in Christianity and Judaism and everything. It's just like it is backed by science. And I think it's just crazy. There's so much to know and to learn.
Boy, do I know it.
And it's just like so
I would classify
intriguing.
my research as a sort of addiction, to be honest. No, because it's the more that you learn, the more that you feel like you're getting closer to something, and it's spooky. And I got to say, like, I'm specifically with meditation, and the reason why I'm into plasma physics and sacred geometry right now is because it's the mathematical foundation of what's going on around us.
Right. Yes.
And it's provable. Yeah. Everything connects, and if you really put the time in to understand, like, because I need the framework, you know what I mean, and that's just kind of how I operate. So I'm really enjoying.
There.
It is there.
The framework is there.
It is there.
And it's crazy that there are people on this planet that have the gift of knowledge to be able to even break that kind of stuff down for us to just happen upon to make sense of what's going on.
Dude,
do you know what I'm saying?
Completely. What
people
drives me?
The brain and the body and the mind are literally like it blows my mind.
It's crazy. It's crazy. And
have you done studies on the brain at all? Like, have you even tapped into any of that?
A lot of neuroscience. That was what that's what got all this kind of started for me.
Even like the concept of your eye, your eyeball alone.
It's crazy. And to think about, like, those
intricate.
moments when
that's just one organ.
When it passes the threshold of words, when you don't even know how to explain it, or you
can't in a short amount of time,
right,
or you literally have to write a book.
That's what drives me, though. That's what I love, when you reach that threshold of, this is indescribable. Like, and a lot of the things, especially when you start to get into meditation, like I have, the things that you experience, there aren't even like human words for it.
I know.
And I love that part of it. And I love trying to put human words. So I love trying to explain that to people. Yes. And so that's what I'm into. And I think it's really exciting.
And it's crazy because there's every single thing on this planet you could do that with.
Completely.
Do you know what I'm saying? Like, obviously you have a specific peak interest in this one specific realm, but like, if even through that lens, whatever lens that you end up creating through your research and like discoveries, when you take that lens and start to look at everything else,
right,
it blows your mind even more, because it's like, holy crud. Like, and I feel like I've gotten to that level when it comes to my faith and my understanding of like creation, like, and it's solely because of research that people have done like this, where it is so intricate and so like to a T, and like, I'm talking like perfectly level. If the light came in any specific other way in our eye, it wouldn't be received the right way. Down to like, and that's just not for my eye. That goes for your eyes and your eyes and your eyes and your eyes, and not just our eyes.
Organs and,
all of our organs. That's just one human body. What about animals? Animals, every single thing is so specific and so intentional for that specific breed and that specific
for their
species.
Evolutionary success. It's crazy.
Animals breed differently. Animals have different, like, there are so many different there are different ways that we give birth. There are different ways that all these things happen. Also, like, when it comes to the planet itself, the plants, and the chance that the plants that are on this planet not only create food for our lungs to allow our blood that is solely dependent on what we breathe to create life for our organs inside of our body. And then what comes out of us just so happens to coincidentally be the food for the plants that also receive back to us. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's crazy the way it's all connected.
It just keeps going.
It's so satisfying to think about,
and
too.
And it's like, wow.
But it's also satisfying in a way that makes you really hungry.
But and it is, yes, it makes you hungry because there is an answer to it. And there are people who are smart enough and who have like the funds and the means, whether they've gone to school and like have been, they're in a lab where they're able to break these things down and like take their own notes and make their own books. Like, it's everything is backed by the truth of science, and I just love that. But if you don't want to like seek that out, then you don't really know. You know, it's crazy
because I have a lot of different like niche areas that I'm really interested in, specifically in this realm of like, hello. We'll wrap it up.
Yeah, you're fine.
Specifically in this realm of the esoteric stuff, and I hope to like, based on interests, kind of pull like, here's some fast facts that are crazy that I've learned. So I'll go into stuff like that moving forward with you guys, because this is something I'm really passionate about and really excited about. And it kind of feels like a divine kind of purpose, kind of calling thing. Because I'm just here just like wondering what being alive is about and how to, more so than anything, how to enhance it. Because I think, like we've talked about several times, we're at a point where we're noticing that something's coming or something's, and I admit, I mean, we're like 20 somethings sitting in a room, maybe every 20 something throughout history has felt that way. However, there's definitely been suspicious things that have happened in the last few years that kind of feel, I mean, something like COVID has never happened in the history of mankind, and it has in like a plague way.
Yeah.
But this was just so weird, and I'm not, making any God, we're gonna get flagged for
you're
conspiracy
okay.
stuff. But no, I'm truly like, when it comes to us talking about stuff like this, we're in the space where we're like, there is no agenda. There is no like, we're just curious.
Yeah,
and
I think excited. We're just genuinely excited about the things that we've discovered and we've found, and like it's like. That's what, like, if that's something that is an interest of ours and we get excited about it, we have the freedom to be able to like talk about that. And if you're excited about something and you aren't allowed to tell anybody,
right?
Like, that's sad.
Totally.
You know what I mean? And so we have to give ourselves the freedom to get excited, to allow ourselves to be excited about something, and to have a place to where we can literally express that excitement and be encouraging to each other is literally so great.
I agree.
And
I
love
agree.
that.
But I do understand, and this is the last kind of preface preface for like future conversations about this that I want to make. I'm aware that, when it comes to like having the freedom to talk about stuff like this, and when you're excited about something, to get to talk about that, I do think that I'm going to get political, not really political. I'm just going to get potentially controversial, right? I think that like, I understand why people should be able to talk about things they're excited about, but also I understand the flip side of it when people are talking about things that they think are true and they're not, and then they're spreading misinformation.
Right.
And this industry and this realm that I'm talking about is an area where misinformation historically, especially in regards to COVID, has been like a problem. And I just like want to make sure that I kind of get ahead of that in a way and say something along the lines of like, yo, this is like,
we're young. This is,
I don't have an agenda is the point I'm making.
But also, like, you're not an expert on any
and if any of y'all think I claim to be, y'all are insane.
Like,
I'm just a little guy for real.
You have to be always open for taking in more information at any point in time. Like, you can have an idea or a concept about something, but you have to still be free to allow fullness of the scope of what you're discussing, maybe settle in a different place than what you were expecting.
Absolutely. It's adaptable. It's got to be adaptable.
It has to be because otherwise you're going to get offended, and otherwise you're not going to, there's no room for growth, and there's no room for learning, and no room for understanding. It's a constant state of learning. And I don't think saying like, time stamping this one episode where you felt this one specific way about one thing is fair to you as a growing and learning person.
Definitely.
When you 2 years later are like, you know what, I've been researching this for a long time and I've learned a lot more, and
I'm
actually
prepared to eat my words several times on
that's
this.
But I think that goes for everybody. And I think that it's sad that we're in a place now where that's like it's not safe to even express yourself without feeling like you have to fact check yourself a million times over, and be even as a non-professional.
Right. It makes sense as to why we're here. It makes sense as to why we got here. But it's also like, it is a bummer because we definitely did lose that art of kind of speaking freely.
Right.
However, I do think it's beneficial to have some of this. I don't think there's anything positive about cancel culture. It makes no sense. It's not how anything works.
No.
However, I think implementing a little bit more political correctness, if it makes people comfortable, I'm all for it. You know
like,
what I mean?
I understand respect. I understand. I mean, I'm from the South. I'm a manners girl.
Me
but
too,
also,
me
if you
too.
go up north and you call someone man, they think you're calling them old,
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing.
too. Yeah.
Which is like, again, I'm just trying to be respectful.
Right. Maybe I am calling you old.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, I just think that we're not there. There are so many different types of people in the world, and to just like blanket statement, like decide that this is the way that people should go about specific things, or and like also through the lens of you don't know that person necessarily. Right. So to try to cancel them and assume the situation. Obviously there are moments and events that happen that warrant some sort of repercussion and consequence, but there is also a system for that, and not that. I know that there are a bunch of flaws still in the system, and that's even constantly changing and growing. And so I think that in the same way that we're trying to, as a society, find the best way to like go about interacting with each other and treating people with respect. And I think the most respect you can give someone is to, regardless of what they're going to say, choose to listen to them.
Absolutely.
Choose to listen to them. That in and of itself, whether or not you agree, whether or not you understand, I think it's healthy to like ask questions and
Agreed.
to like try to find some sort of understanding, especially in a world that is, I think, created for community. And I think
Absolutely.
that everyone has a different opinion. Everyone has a different life. Everyone has a different, experience of their own like timeline on the earth.
Right.
We all have something to learn
That's
from
the
everyone.
point.
And there's always room for grace and mercy and forgiveness. And I think that to not allow someone because of an act that has happened one moment or 30 seconds in their life and not allow room for them to even grow, it honestly takes out the humanity of the justice of the situation.
Yeah, the grace of being allowed to learn.
Yes,
I think
it truly
truly,
is a grace.
it takes a level of emotional, maturity and security as well to be able to hear something and not feel challenged by it. I think we as a society, especially, we're moving into a period of time where we're now taking things very personally, which I think is valid. There's so what is my deal with being a person with white hair and only wearing black shirts?
No, but it's fun.
Make it make sense.
It's crisp. It's crisp. It's contrast.
It is.
I also wanted to say that you made a really good point earlier about life, wanting to figure out that purpose, and like you can find an interest in something, but like the longing to deep dive into that is what you feel like allows you to enjoy life more. I had like a little brain like metaphor when that came up. So it's almost like, let's say you are like, I think I want to get into photography, and you get a camera and you're like, okay, this is cool. But you only leave it on the manual setting and you're just taking pictures of everything. And like sometimes it turns out great and sometimes it doesn't, and you don't necessarily care to learn why because you took a cool picture or you took a picture and you're like, I'm satisfied with that.
Yeah, the other ones are better. Yeah. You gotta learn the mechanics.
Right. Eventually that doesn't necessarily fit it anymore. And there's like a level to the excitement of the camera that disintegrates.
Totally.
But if you choose to try to learn and understand the
deeper.
mechanisms of the camera and go deeper into the camera and understand how the camera works, not only are you going to enjoy your camera more,
right,
but you're going to enjoy what you create with the camera.
Totally.
So much more.
It has a different level because it connects to you in a different way.
It connects to you, but also it broadens your ability to exist in a more intentional and specific to you type of way.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Totally. Yeah. It's all about how you kind of put your fingerprint on it. I'm excited. And so what we're going to do is we're going to put a pin in the Mothman. We're going to explain to you next week why Mothman is gay.
Okay.
So stay tuned next week.
Okay.
To find out why Mothman is gay, everyone.
He eats clothes.
And
clothes and but they kind of oh no, never mind. I don't want to like keep going because I'm
as always, shout out to Mark and Grace. I hope y'all are having great mornings.
Good
hope the rest of your morning
Mark
goes well.
Grace.
And you had a good little hour with us.
Yes.
We just want to be y'all's little friendies, while you do your tasks during the day. So, thanks for watching.
Yes.
Pew, 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 pew.